place, and in a beautiful way. I mean, he was going somewhere, was going south. So when you're going south, you know what the meaning of going south is, right? So when you're going south, when you're not supposed to be, he's hijacking you to go north, which is a good thing because sometimes, you know, when you're young, you have all the energy, but you're scattered. And he would be like, "Okay, hold it in, Terence. Come on, hold it in. Focus, focus." So it was great to have that. You know, he was like, for me, a father figure. And at the same time, he was a very strict teacher. He was very demanding, at the yet time very loving. So for me, I have amazing memories of Sir Alyque.
Yeah, and coming to memories, do you want to share something with us?
What can I share? A lot of things. I can never forget. You know, it used to be called Beer and Biryani Party on 24th of December. Christmas Eve is his building's name, and on Christmas Eve we used to have Beer and Biryani Party. Even though we finished the show, years later I was always invited to his house for that Beer and Biryani Party. And it had become a tradition, and the warmth that was there was always amazing. Another thing that I like about Alyque is that, you know, how he believed in the young people. He didn't think हमारे ज़माने में सब अच्छा होता था और दूसरों के ज़माने में अच्छा नहीं हो रहा. For example, when I did my own productions, I invited him, and that time I felt, अरे इतना बड़ा director क्यों आएगा मेरे show के लिए? He came. I was nobody that time. I was not the Terence that you know of now. And he came for each and every show of mine. They were all like contemporary shows. And he used to give personal feedback. He used to write a letter to me those days, and I'm talking about 2000, 2003. He used to write a letter saying that, you know, I like this part of the production, I didn't like this, and the lighting could have been better. And it was so amazing to always know that he was so personally involved. So I have my deepest respect for people like that. And he, for me, like how Amitabh Bachchan is to film industry, he for me is the Amitabh Bachchan of the theatre industry. Look at the way Amitabh Bachchan is even right now at this stage. He's so active, he's so on the ball. You're an admiration because, you know, we are half his age and he has double the energy. And the same was with Alyque. He had double the energy. You know, he was literally like, you know, again, maybe, you know, more than, you know, double my age, but his energy level, his sense of commitment, his sense of focus, he used to always be before time for the rehearsals. So these are things, you know, which is amazing about him.
Last question. आपने book पढ़ा?
Yes, because ये book मुझे पहले ही दिया गया था. And there are lots of important chapters, and chapter 5 is all about the concept of how to run a company in terms of young people and how to make the company work culture a more friendly work culture, जो missing है. A lot of people are like, you know, this is the hierarchy, आप boss हो तो आप कुछ भी बोल. ऐसा नहीं था. With Alyque, you know, even सबसे छोटा इंसान भी बोल सकता है कि सर मुझे ये अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, क्या हम ये कर सकते हैं? And he could give suggestion, and he would उसको नज़रअंदाज नहीं करता था. So there was a certain sense of respect he would give you. और ये बहुत कम लोग देते हैं. और आज के ज़माने में ये बहुत important है to give respect to everybody in the organization and make the work culture a little bit more fun, a little bit more light-hearted. Boss, even today, it has changed a lot. पहले cabins हुआ करते थे. You know, so supervisor staff, and आजकल cabins हुआ नहीं करते हैं. It's an open work culture. सबके एक desk होता है और खुला atmosphere है. There are no boxes or there are no, you know, rooms separate for supervisors or people, you know, who are working under them. So this is all changed, and I think Alyque उस ज़माने में कहीं he was way ahead, that he had suggested all these things then in the organization. That's why people loved him. You know, there was no way, you know, he loved what he did. Super passionate. पता नहीं कहाँ से उसकी energy मिलती, इतना passion I've not seen. There's Amitabh Bachchan in the film industry and there's Alyque Padamsee in the theatre industry.
Thank you.
God bless.
Yeah, she's going to ask, huh?
Soni, we'll start with you. Did he hijack your mind?
I haven't read the book yet, to be very honest, because I've been traveling.
In life. In life, did he hijack your mind?
Who, Alyque?
Yeah.
Always. He was a wonderful maverick. Yeah, maverick. And whenever you spoke to him, he always had a fascinating perspective, and that always made you look at life differently. So yeah, always.
Any memory you'd like to share with us with Alyque?
There's so many now. Suddenly I can't think of just one. Yeah, he was just a wonderful human being, and yeah. I've not worked with him, yeah. Right. What do I say?
Right. So you.
Of course, Alyque was my boss. When I was a young lad, just being, you know, just forming my thoughts, he was my boss, and he was everything to me and influenced me greatly. So he more than hijacked my mind. Yeah. Now, an incident? Yeah. Well, once I was supposed to have a meeting with him. He didn't have time in the office. And so I cornered him as usual at the lift. And he said, ride with me, by boy. So I went down to the parking lot and got into the car, and we sat and we talked about whatever we had to talk about, work and all that. But that day was Ganpati celebrations. So we got stuck in a traffic jam at Chowpatty for an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
And I had the most amazing conversation with him. And it was so warm and wonderful. I had many life's lessons. I recall that conversation in my head often. And at Breach Candy, he just opened the door and said, "Now you can get out."
We've had enough of you.
Yeah.
And
It was
of course you've read
fabulous. Yes, I have read parts of it, yeah.
the most interesting chapter.
I think this is a very, this one about gender, the 10 for men, is a very, very important,
Guys, just keep it down, please, for a minute.
is a very, very important chapter in the book. You know, and especially in the context of India. Yeah, India needs to change, and it needs to change rapidly. Yeah. So not only the cities, as Soni was saying, we are privileged to have all this, and you know, you have been you're bringing about awareness in your classes and things like that. People are open, but it needs to penetrate into smaller cities, into the villages, and that's where the mindset really needs to change for India to grow.
Rahul, after the stupendous success of the launch, now you've pulled up another beautiful book. What do you have to say about it?
Well, I think it was really wonderful. There's Denzil, Soni, of course, Terence, and our dear Vandana. I think always, and of course, most importantly, our audience. So I think the more people we can talk to, impact, because obviously he's not here. Sorry, his book is here, and we're here to kind of, share that with the world. His ideas, his thoughts, his Alyquisms, his 10 Commandments, all that. And I just want to say that, he impacted me a lot, obviously as a father, but, the whole chapter about a bonus baby and how lucky we are to be where we are, As he kept saying, it's just an accident of birth. We could be anywhere, absolutely anywhere.
Yeah.
We're just so fortunate, and that we have to give back. And because of that, almost 80% of my work now is about that. So I think he really, really did make that kind of impact on me, and hopefully on, a lot of other people he actually touched through his work.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Vandana, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, he was a maverick. I think you used the right word, but he was a genius in so many different areas. And he took from here and he cross-pollinated with something over there. And I think he created magic. And what I would say is, if everyone of the younger generation did read this book, they would really come out happier people.
Thank you.
Thank you.